nila po ano to.
Anak niya ng mga anak niya ako dahil ko. Ano ka ba?
Tapos, ito sila pwede na ito.
Okay.
Sini, Pasko. What's up? Okay, sige, aware na kayo, Tay. Pero sa ngayon, meron na silang damit pampalit. Ay.
So let me just secure my recording so that at least my recording sa screen. Our sessions actually every synchronous sessions pura na lang no kung na ay activity or busy ko. It is all recorded so that those classmates nga hindi man makasulod sa klase, they can just watch the recording later on. Okay, so let me sulod ko balik sa isa ka device, no? Kay kasi may ara pa magsulod students. Wait lang kid kadali.
Si ano, si Benjiva, yung asawa, sinira ng katapan kami.
Kagabi na ako sila katekang, mamimili yung gamit at kailangan sila umalis.
Okay.
School Kirby may bibigay ko yata sa inyo.
Say, ito po yung pera para po makabili po ng gamit po yung mga bata. Ito po.
So let us continue. Sorry. Nag-feedback ang isa ka device. Let us continue with the origin of tourism in the Philippines.
Itatayo lang po.
So, the previous discussions, so from early tourism to modern tourism, talked about the origins of tourism and how it came to be. Now, we are going to proceed with tourism in the Philippines because just like tourism in general, we didn't actually have an organized tourism industry before. And it took us a while to have organized and registered tourism activities in the Philippines. In fact, it did not really started with DOT. No, people were just interested to travel the Philippines, and then muna siya daghan kayo po nag-take advantage, just like what happened in tourism in the 19th century nga gikapitalize sa mga lugar nga na influx of tourists. That is why there's an increase of hotels, entertainment facilities. So diri mo po na ang gihimo sa mga Filipinos, they capitalized and took advantage of tourists coming in our country. So the first nga na registered, I don't know if it's the right term, registered nga tourism activity in the Philippines began when the original inhabitants of the country roamed around in search for food. Our ancestors are not really from the Philippines. They came from other countries, and when it was like winter time and mga nomads man ni sila, they don't have permanent residence, and when it was winter time, because they didn't actually discovered agriculture yet, they were more into hunting and foraging. So they had to go to warmer places or countries or lands with warmer climate in search for food. So they came across the Philippines. They came through land bridges. So wala pa na siya naguba, no, ang land bridges before. Duol-duol pa lang ang distance between the Philippines and sa uban pa jud nga nearby countries, like maybe somewhere in East Asia. So, muna siya ingon nga naabot na ang mga inhabitants nato sa Philippines who were not really originally from the Philippines. And then a more recognizable form of tourism appeared in the Philippines when the country was discovered by Magellan. But in fact, it was discovered accidentally because they were looking for the Spice Islands. And they were more into expanding their colonies, no, expanding the empire of Spain. And they just so happened to discover Mactan, no, during that time. And then during the American occupation of the Philippines, there were a lot of foreigners who were actually interested to reach Manila or to reach the Philippines and visit there. Our first jud siguro nga recorded nga foreign travel were Americans coming from Hong Kong, no? So they were about to reach Manila with after 2 weeks on board the Pan American Airways Air Clippers. So wala pa na ang Cebu Pacific, Philippine Airlines, Pan American Airways Air Clippers ang nilang gigamit to reach the Philippines. So in 1920, steamship and airline pioneer China Clipper and Manila Clipper brought some passengers to Manila via Hong Kong. So there was an introduction of more comfortable and faster means of transportation, which gave the early impetus for tourism in the Philippines. So since because of air clippers, no, either from China or American Airways or Manila Clippers, so these forms of transportation brought in more tourists, and that would mean if more tourists, daghan og visitors, daghang opportunity for Filipinos to capitalize on the influx of tourists. And because of that, no, entrepreneurs, Filipino entrepreneurs with their unregistered private cars and coaches decided to do driving tours to accommodate foreigners, no, or travelers from abroad. So kani mga unregistered private cars and coaches were called colorum. So sa una wala pa man ay DOT there, or wala pa na any other tour and travel agency that will help moderate and control tourism activities. So kung kinsa ra to ang naay iyang private car or private carriage pulled by a horse, like ako jud abi ang gatag iya jud ana, then I will take advantage because I will go to the airport or pier, and then I will call the foreigners to visit the Philippines, and then I will just tell them, oh, I have a private car, I can show you around. So muna ang means of livelihood sa uban, no, naman sila private vehicle, they make use of that to tour the entire Philippines with foreigners. So more siya tour driving, you're conducting tours, tour guide ka, unya at the same time ga-drive pod ka. There were some offices like American Express International which formally arranged land tours for foreign travelers. So, na may uban nga wala man sila gasalig sa mga colorum or Filipino entrepreneurs who made use of their private vehicles for tour driving. So others would go to American Express International, which they arrange itineraries for foreign travelers who would like to visit the Philippines. And during that time, class, there were only a few tourist attractions and destinations in the Philippines. To name a few, Monicelano, si Manila, syempre, Pagsanhan Falls, Laguna Lake, Tagaytay, Taal Volcano, Mount Mayon, Legazpi, Baguio City, and Banawi Tour. Other popular tours in the South in the 1920s were Cebu City and Zamboanga. So it was not like today na masking mga agtoy ka sa Don Salvador na daghan kayo mga different excursion activities or day tour activities like coffee shops or cafeterias, or I don't know if cafeterias were coffee shops, no, kanang mga aesthetic nga mga mga establishments, na mga mountain resorts, daghan na kay na karon, no, and even kanang pwede ma-substitute ang Boracay and Siargao, na mga hidden beaches dira nga pwede ma-replicate ang white sand beaches. Pero sa una wala pa na siya na-discovered kasi syempre there was no DOT, there were no let's say empowerment of city tourism office and local government units to really revitalize tourism. Sa una ra kung sa mga nakit-an dira nga beautiful destinations, mura po na siya i-introduce, unlike karon nga na appreciate na jud sa mga tao ang tourism, and people saw that it can really generate a lot of income and also generate a lot of jobs nga daghan na og mga gihimo nga man-made and gi-develop nga mga natural attractions. So it was difficult to measure tourism activities before the World War II. And in 1947, a more orderly tourism activity started. steamships and airlines began to service the Philippines from other countries because they saw how beautiful the Philippines is, and then daghan kay siya mga lain nga tourist attraction. So it was not until 1952 that the first tourism association in the Philippines was organized. This was the Philippine Tourist and Travel Association, or PTTA. And then later, the government organized the Board of Travel and Tourist Industry, or BTTI, to regulate, supervise, and control the tourist industry. And they only subsidize, or they took under their wing, ang Philippine Tourist and Travel Association. So basically, the job of DOT to regulate, supervise, and control tourist industry was done by BTTI before, or Board of Travel and Tourist Industry, and kuha niya si PTTA as its promotional arm. Nowadays, we have DOT, or Department of Tourism, to supervise and control and even regulate tourism activities, while si Tourism Promotions Board na karon ang maoy ga advertise o promote sa mga different tourist attractions in the Philippines. In fact, one of their campaigns, Rebound Tourism, one of their campaigns to revitalize and bring back the tourism industry after the pandemic was actually made by TPB in partnership with DOT, Tourism Promotions Board in partnership with DOT, and together, they're in charge of basically boosting the attractiveness of the Philippines as a premier tourism destination, and also to help ensure nga there is an increase of tourism arrivals. But the Philippines has undergone economic, social, and political crisis starting in 1960s up to the 70s, which hindered the promotion of tourism. People would disagree, or argue that it was all because of the martial law, because the martial law basically started in 1972, which is 60s to 70s man ang maoy medyo na ay crisis sa tourism. But others would even say that martial law helped tourism in the Philippines prosper. So, di man ta ana kasi, because we were not really there. Maybe the aspect to that nganing prosper ang tourism because it was safer na for travelers due to curfew, and syempre there is installment of martial law. And then others would also disagree because daghan na diraan kanang mga mga rebellions or kanang mga uprising because of the martial law, kidnappings. So di man ta jud ka truly say because we were not there. Okay, this is only based from details of not just by the book, but also from DOT. So tourism in the Philippines today is the result of a continuous development and promotion from 1950 to the present. So, we also have the National Tourism Organization of the Philippines. It was the former name of DOT, or Department of Tourism. So, they have several plans and programs to ensure the pleasant and hospitable entry, stay, and departure of tourists, as well as to assure a harmonious, positive, and constructive development of the tourism industry. Among these are, mga plano and goals of DOT, or the National Tourism Organization of the Philippines. Gilisan nila DOT para it's easier, para mas dali lang ilitok or istorya. So, one of their goals, kanino damo sila actually goals and objectives by DOT. So, number 1 is increase visitor arrivals, especially from nearby markets like Japan, Korea, Hong Kong, and Taiwan, and high spending markets like Germany. because these following tourists coming from these different countries, they spend so much in tourism. And if they spend so much in the tourism facilities and activities in the Philippines, that can actually benefit our economy. And then number 2, increase tourism receipts. So muna kong ingon no, ang ilang goal is to encourage more travel from countries nga high spenders or kusog kay mo spend og money. And then if we make them stay longer, like 11 days, and they spend at least $110 per day, imagine if you have 5,000 tourists. I-compute ha. Let us imagine $110 kaya ang 140 is 10,000. So naa sa mga 6,000 siguro si 110 no, kasi 140 10,000 naman na siya. So toy butan na sa mga 6 or 7,000 si $110. So kada turista mo spend siya og at least 7,000 per day. I-times ni mo na siya 11 days. So mahulog og 77,000 for entire 11 days ang maggasto sa usa ka turista. So for one tourist, 77,000 sa 11 days ha. What if you have 5,000 tourists? Oh, they will spend about 385 million just for those 11 days if you have 5,000 tourists. And imagine, no, how much unsa kadako na siya nga income sa mga tourism establishments, sa mga people working in those tourism establishments, and it can also help the economy. Okay? And how can you accomplish that 385 million? Okay? By having more attractive destination and tours, more shopping and dining, and not getting just the budget traveler, but also those who can spend so much. Next is to expand domestic tourism through more promotions, cheaper tour packages, and new facilities, especially for lower income segments. So, ang main goal is to encourage those who spend so much money no to stay longer in the Philippines. Ila pong goal is not just for those who can spend so much money, but also for those nga on a tight budget. Limited lang ang budget. So, maghimo og cheap tour packages or tour itineraries nga ma-afford ra nila so that they also can travel to the Philippines and also spend their money on travel. Bahalag gamay, bahalag dili kaayo kuan, bahalag dili kaayo dako ilahang ma-spend. At least it's better than wala jud no. At least makadungag-dungag na lang sa mga tourist receipts no, and even tourists visiting our country. Next is expand the capacity for tourism by promoting more private sector investments. So kanang mga hotels, kanang mga resorts, o kanang mga other tourism establishments that are not really by DOT, there are some facilities tourism facilities that are owned by private institutions, no, or not private institutions but private sector. So mga dili na ang government katag-iyaan ng mga hotels, mga resorts. It's always the private sector. So if we can encourage them to be active participants in tourism, that could also mean, if we can encourage the private sector that will also mean more infrastructures nga ma-build o more activities nga ma-sponsored by the private sector for tourism. Okay, and with more infrastructures, the more tourists nga may encourage mo visit. Number 5, improve the standards for service through expansion of training programs for the professionalization of the tourism management and labor force. So they also want to provide quality service. And in order to provide quality service sa mga tourism and hospitality establishment, it's also important that you need to train your people. That is why, in order to do that, na expansion of training programs, you have TESDA, for example, not only that, may mga other agencies that will really train you. Schools are also a perfect example, like UNESCO or CSR or our LCC, who provides quality education and also to help produce future hoteliers who will work in hotel, and future tourism professionals. And with that, if we can provide several training programs nga mahon jud ilang skills, kaning mga people nga involved in the tourism and hospitality industry can surely give quality service. Kay trained naman sila, preparado na sila for the workplace. Number 6, program major tourism infrastructure projects. So it's important to, again, with more infrastructure, more opportunity for tourists to be encouraged to travel in the Philippines. Number 7, engage in major tourism estate and resort development. Number 8, classify facilities in tourist sites according to international standards. Now, if the tourism facilities will be able to meet international standards, that would clearly mean that high quality na ang na-provide na service sa kani mga tourism facilities. Okay? And mabiyan na ang rason nga na magbalik-balik ang mga guest ay if na high quality service. And then strictly enforce the tour facility standards. Again, with high standards, if you set standards, international standards, ma-meet nato na sila tanan, will be able to provide high quality service. And if we have high quality service, dali masatisfied ang ato ang guest, and they will surely come back. And mapunan pa rin itong mga guests because of the high quality service that we provide. Ang number 10, promote self-regulation within the different sectors of the tourism industry. So, syempre, need Japan i-regulate ang tourism industry. Dili sa tanang panahon, pasagdaan lang siya kung unsa iyahang mga plano dira, no? Or unsa po dira ang kanang mga activities without the supervision of DOT. So, kinahanglan na adjoy supervision, control, quality control, regulation. Number 11, complete the National Tourism Plan and Destination Tourism Plan, which actually every city nga na City Tourism Office and active ang ilahang syudad sa mga tourism activities na sila Tourism Development Plan. The Tourism Development Plan is made in order to improve or let's say help the growth of tourism, nga mo increase ang tourism arrival sa syudad. Unsa may mga different tourist attractions nga need i-develop, unsa may mga programs and activities nga need i-introduce para mas mudaghan pa jud og turista sa Pilipinas, no? So dili lang ang syudad, even the national tourism, no, tourism sector, no, ang DOT, no, dapat napod sila National Tourism Plan to institutionalize, no, all the standards, regulations, developments, mga programs, plano to help improve tourism. Number 12, encourage consumer advertising in selected markets. So, syempre, they make use of Tourism Promotions Board to make advertisements and even marketing slogans that can encourage tourists to visit the country. And then number 13, work closely with the private sector in product development. And 14, develop and strengthen linkages with the local government, the private sector, and the public through tourism councils. So actually, ang every city dapat naman ay tourism council, no? Kinsa man na ang ga-comprise sa tourism council, you have the private sector, public sector, government, the academe, stakeholders. So kani sila, they will help with the development of the tourism development plan and even help the city. Again, no, tanan ang ilahara dyan ang efforts is mapanindot pa dyan ang lugar para daghan og turista and daghan pod og opportunities for livelihood, no, sa mga locals nga involved in tourism. Let us now proceed to international travel patterns. So, di na ito makita pod class nga when we say Germany is one of the highest spending tourist, no, or country when it comes to tourism, kay kalabanan man pod, no, ang daghan jud og travel flow or coming from the US and Europe, and Germany is part of Europe. So major travel flows occur between United States and Western Europe. So kalabanan, no, may tag major travel flows, daghan kaayo og ga-travel by plane, no, gikan sa United States pa Europe or Western Europe, and from Western Europe to United States, because kaning these people coming from kani siya nga country kay or kani nga continent, kalabanan ani nila naman jud sa kwarta, they have the means to travel. That is why sila dili jud ang number one major travel flows. Second to United States and Western Europe, you also have regional patterns between South America, the Caribbean, Africa, Near East, and Far East. So, usually if you travel to Africa, it's just one way, and all of them came from Europe. Okay? So, imagine na nimo, daghan jud ay kay kwarta mo Europeans because most of the travel flow gikan jud sa ilang nga country. And one way ra, no, kay syempre, dili man tanan privilege na sa Africa. So, mostly ang mga Europeans should not mo travel pa Africa for holiday or for safari trip. And then, ang kaning South America, Caribbean, Africa, Near East, and Far East are basically other countries po nga daghan o major travel flow rather, second to Europe and America. Then, ang heaviest flow of air traffic into Europe is between New York and London. So, back and forth, no? Heavy air traffic. Every day, hectic kaayo ilang schedule kay always siya na puno ang biyahe between these two places. And then, kung within ra sa Europe, not outside of Europe or the continent of Europe, most of the major air traffic flow are from London and Paris, London and Frankfurt, Milan and Rome. And then, ang frequently visited by tourists kay ang London, Paris, Frankfurt, Amsterdam, Brussels, Zurich, Geneva, Madrid, Copenhagen, Vienna, Milan, Rome, and Munich. These following European countries are the most visited and daghan og air traffic flows. Then the top 10 countries generating international travel, meaning daghan kayog mga turista gikan aning mga country. In order ni siya. Una, ang United States, followed by Germany. Mabitang gusto ni DOT, si Germany dyan na yung i-encourage ng mga turista mo biyahe sa Philippines kay kusog na sila mo gasto. United Kingdom, Canada, Japan, France, Netherlands, Mexico, Switzerland, and Australia. So, muni ang mga top 10 countries nga kusog mo travel. And then, Europe generates about 1/2 of overseas travelers. Imagine, no, 1/2 of overseas travelers gikan na tanan sa Europe. Padulong sa USA. So, very popular ng intracontinental, no, from America to Europe, Europe to America. Kaya America is part of, US is part of North America, together with Canada. And then, ang Europe, dito na ang Germany, England, okay? Ang South America, mga Latina countries like Argentina, we have Argentina, you have Peru, Brazil. So, muna sila. So, kung North America, kalabanan sa North America, man siya na mo travel, no? Canada and Greenland, and USA. Okay, this is the last part of our discussion. Factors that favor the growth of tourism. There are 14. So you'll start first with rising disposable income for large sections of the population. So, syempre, no, if more money means more travel. If you have disposable income, meaning your extra money, kanang nabayad ni mo tanan nimong bills, munal ni mong disposable or extra income. And if you have that because of work, syempre, and benefits and incentives nowadays, it means you have more opportunities to travel. Okay? And then, ang number 2, so, kani mga factors sa mo ni naka-help encourage sa pag-grow sa tourism. Ang number 2, growth in the number of retired persons who have the desire and energy to travel. So, life expectancy is increasing. There are fewer deaths now than before because of the innovation of medicine, and which is the result of more concern for diet and exercise, and which means more energy to travel, no? And there is also such thing as early retirement, where people masking wala pa sila totally up to the age of 60, they can retire early so that they can enjoy their time, no? They can also enjoy samtang sayo-sayo pa, samtang di may yung bata-bata pa, no? Pero at least samtang dili pa jud ingon nga struggle pa og lakaw, o naay time maka-travel. Number 3, increase in discretionary time. Shorter work weeks and longer vacations. Usually, mo na siya ang may gina-push for employment nowadays, no? From 50 to 60 hours and up to less than 40 hours. There is more time to travel na if there are like longer holidays or lesser hours to work. Para sa nang karong October, daghan kaayong mga long weekend. Atong pag-August, daghan kay long weekend, which provided opportunity for us to travel. Number 4, greater mobility of the population. People became more accustomed to travel because of the increase in travel opportunities. And daghan na kaayong mga innovations in transportation. Sa una, dugay kay ka makabiyahe, no, coming from one city to another. But with advancement in technology, especially sa transportation, it's easier na to travel. Okay? So, next growth in the number of singles. So, karon no, daghan na kay mga, labi na sa ato ang Generation Z ang mahadlok og commitment. So, mostly, no, people living alone have more free time than couples. Nga wala po kay kanang uyab nga magsigi og pugong nimo kung asa ka mo agto, no? So, since daghan naman kayog mga singles karon, so there are more opportunities to travel, no? And kalabanan magani class ang daghan kay nga mga travelers, so kanang mga female solo travelers kay gusto na ba iron ang kanang independent woman or strong female nga strong female energy, no? Kay ang uban pod single sila by choice because they want to socialize through traveling. Enjoy nilang youth. Number 6, greater mobility of the population. Oh, we're done with that, sorry. Number 6, greater credit availability through credit cards and banks. So, naanay mga travel now, pay later. No, that can help stimulate or encourage travel. Ano mga credit card, no? Di na ka kinahanglan mag-carry og cash. If wala pa kay budget, credit card lang ka. Installment lang nimo pagbayad unya. Number 7, higher educational levels. Since millions of students attend colleges and universities, pars ninyo, no? You are more exposed to different cultures, and the more you are exposed to different cultures, the more you're interested in foreign cultures. And to do that, to satisfy your curiosity and interest, mo travel pod mo visit ana nga place. Number 8, Number 8, growth of cities. So the Industrial Revolution brought about the migration of people from rural areas to urban areas, resulting in the growth of urbanization. And if there are major cities, there is also an opportunity for people to be interested to travel to those cities. Number 9, simplification of travel through the package tour. So, sa una, magtagbo pa ka og book og hotel, book og flight, mangita pag restaurant, asa ka mukaon. So, it's very hassle to travel before. You have to fix everything yourself. But with tour packages, no, it can provide you with a less hassle opportunity to travel because everything is already planned, arranged, and included in one piece. All you have to do is just show up and spend your money, and everything will be arranged for you. Organized na siya. Number 10, growth of multinational business. So, worldwide business interest increases both the need and habit of travel. Number 11, modern transportation technology. So, there are a lot of technological advances in transportation, no? So, ang long distance travel, imbis mahimo na siya og 2 hours nga travel, no, like bullet trains, mahimo na lang siya 45 minutes to an hour, and it's less expensive and more comfortable. So, ikaw, syempre, kabalo na ka nga, dali na lang kay ibiyahe. Encourage ka to travel. Number 12, shift in values. So at present, people place more value in experience rather than material possession. So ang uban, they want to live their life to the fullest. Wala sila ga-chase og material possessions like expensive houses, cars, and jewelry. Ang ilahaan na is, they just live day by day and enjoy their life. Visit sila sa daghan kay mga different places, no? I remember na usa ka YouTuber pud ato class nga naa siya sakit. So, iyang gibuhat no, instead nga mag-sulk siya and masad sa iyang situation, he quit his full-time job to travel all around the world. Although nakaspend man po siya money, no, kay i-vlog man na niya, maka-earn siya money sa YouTube. But ang ihato is samtang buhi pa siya, iyahang i-enjoy tanan. Ang number 13, advances in communication. So television and movies enlarge the travel perspective. So the world is brought into the living room and it's easy for you to see the different beautiful destinations through your television or through your social media applications. And with that, when you see beautiful destinations, the more you will be encouraged to travel to that place. Number 14, smaller families and changing roles. So, karon dili naman nga nakadaghan ang mga anak nila sa unang nga tag 12, 14, 15 ang siblings maglisod og travel nya. Dili na lang mo travel kay daghan kay dadon nga mga anak. Unya daghan kay gastuanan kay mga anak gasunod-sunod tanan. Pero karon na there's a shift in values. People would prefer smaller families with 1 or 2 children and it's easier not to bring them to holidays. At the same time, kung mudako na sila, it's easier na pod to sorry gitay miran ko diri. It's easier na pod to what they call this? Save money, no, syempre, no, kay manigulan na imong mga anak dali ra kay tulo ra man sila kabuok or duha ra sila kabuok. Daghan na kaayo og time ana nga mag travel. And that is it for my discussion this evening. Sakto jud kayo nga 8:03 p.m. But before we will end our discussion, let me first check your attendance. 45 mo ka buok, diba? So, hopefully, closer to 45, no? So, before dito mo start sa ko, and do you have any questions? Things that you would like to clarify?
None, miss.
Okay. If none, I will call your name one by one, and if you are present, kindly click the raise hand button. If duha mo gagamit og device, you can just unmute your microphone and say present. Okay, let us start first with Jaya Amyon.
Miss, ano na sa miss, ng drop na sa miss.
Okay, so drop na ni siya. Thank you. Aureliano Eljon. Balayo Karen. Batayen Roshana.